At Raven Hill, there are places people avoid, not because they know what happened there, but because of what they feel when they get close. Raven Hill was one of those places. It sat on the edge of a small, forgotten town, cloaked in mist and silence. No one had lived in the old black house at the top for nearly 30 years, but when Ellie's parents died in a car crash, the house became hers. She had no other family, no home to return to. All she had was an old letter from a lawyer and a rusty key that smelled like wet metal. "It's just a house," she told herself as she stepped off the bus. The road was cracked, the trees bare even in spring. The house stood in the distance like a shadow, its windows dark and hollow. Ellie had just turned 22. She wasn't easily scared, or so she believed. But as she walked the narrow road up the hill, a coldness touched her skin that had nothing to do with the wind. The gate groaned when she pushed it open. It swung back slowly, like it didn't want her there. Weeds grabbed at her ankles as she made her way to the front door. The key slid into the lock, but she had to use both hands to turn it. The door creaked open, revealing darkness. The smell hit her first: damp wood, old paper, something else. Like something had died a long time ago. "Just old," she whispered, flicking on the flashlight she brought. Dust floated in the air like ash. The furniture was still there, covered in sheets. One large portrait hung above the fireplace, a man and woman, dressed in old-fashioned clothes. The man's eyes were too small for his face. The woman had no eyes at all, only empty, dark pits. Ellie looked away. She chose a small bedroom upstairs. It felt less heavy. She unpacked, made the bed, and tried not to notice that the wallpaper peeled in long, curling strips, like old skin. That night, the house didn't sleep. Ellie woke to a sound like footsteps, slow, deliberate, above her, but there was no floor above. She sat up in bed, heart racing. The sound came again, thump, thump, then silence. "It's just an old house," she told herself. "Houses creak." But deep down, she knew that wasn't a creak. That was movement. In the morning, she explored. The stairs to the attic were nailed shut. Why? She wondered. She found old photos in a box. Some were burned at the edges. In one photo, a girl stood in front of the house. She looked a lot like Ellie, too much like Ellie. She turned the photo over, written in faded ink. Mira, 1974. That night, she heard whispering. It came from the walls, soft, like breath. She put her ear against the wallpaper. Nothing. But when she turned away, the whisper came again. "Help. Me." She spun around. No one. The next day, she pulled the nails from the attic door. It took an hour. Her hands bled, but she had to know. The attic was cold and smelled of rot. In the far corner, something was under a tarp. She stepped closer and pulled it off. A cradle. Inside was a tiny skeleton, wrapped in a moldy blanket. Its skull was cracked. Ellie screamed and ran, but the attic door slammed shut behind her. She banged on it, shouted, kicked, but it didn't move. Then the crying started. A baby's cry, soft and broken, coming from the cradle. She turned. The cradle rocked on its own, and in the shadow next to it stood a woman. Her eyes were empty, black holes. Her mouth opened in a silent scream.